In this video, I'm going to show you how to do a dummy procedure so that you can use it to create a annual wellness alert that will populate in the CDSS section for practice alerts, which will be around this area. Here in this patient, I already have one annual health maintenance alert. I was playing with it yesterday, and you can see that I satisfied it yesterday, and so now it's telling me that the patient is due until next year. So let me show you how to create this particular alert. The first step is you're going to have to create a dummy procedure in the system, and I'll show you why that is. So first you go to procedures. Once you're in procedures, you're going to hit new, and in this one we're going to call it annual wellness 2. And so I'm going to create it, and so you see it right there. Once you create it, you click on it, and then you associate CPTs to it. You don't want to associate any of them, but you do want to call it an in-house procedure. Once you hit OK, you're going to see that it changes that to an in-house procedure. Once you have that procedure there, what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and create an alert using that procedure. So when you go to under EMR alerts, and then you go down to procedures, you can actually create a new one. Here's the one that I already have, but we're going to do a new one. So we're going to call it, actually it has to have the name of the procedure that you just created. So in this case is the wellness alert. You hit OK. Once you do that, you give it a description. You want to call it wellness alert for all patients, or whatever you want to call it. Here you can actually do limits. So for example, if I wanted to create one just for a certain population of patients, let's say that I want to create it for 2 years all the way out to 18 years. So this is the age limit, and I'm going to do it every year. And I'm going to do both female and male. You can add providers here, but if you leave this blank here, it's going to apply to everybody. So once I hit OK, it's gonna, this alert now, it's going to look for patients that are in that age range. So unfortunately, this patient here is not going to have it because it's not in the range. So when I go to the CDSS and I look at the practice alert, going to see that it's not there. So let me go ahead and change the date of birth for this particular patient so that it can show it. So we're going to do 2004. Okay. And when I do that, we're going to see now that that alert in the CDSS is going to show up. See, there it is. So now it's due. So how do you satisfy this alert? So how do you satisfy this particular procedure wellness alert in the system? So I have reverted this patient to show that annual health maintenance alert here. I can see that the patient is now due for that alert because that patient is in that age range that we talked about earlier. So how do I satisfy this so that I can see that I've done it? So there's a couple of ways that you could do it. You can have your MA order it from the procedures up in this section, and you can just, and this can be independent of the visit. You can hit new and you can order that visit. I'm going to show you how to do it that way. So let's say that patient is showing up for a physical that day. So here I'm going to be ordering that procedure to satisfy that alert. So in here you're gonna go and you're gonna order the annual wellness procedure, and there's two things that you need to do to satisfy. You need to receive it and you need to review it. Once you do that, you hit, if you want to, you can also timestamp it so that you know who did it, and then you hit OK. In this case it's asking me for facility. I'll just pick whichever one. And then once I do that, you're going to see that the alert is now satisfied in the system. When I go to the CDSS and I look at that clinical alert, you're going to see that it turns green, and now I can see that I did it today and that it's due in 1 year. Now that's a procedure that that the MAs can do for the provider. You can also create a template so that that procedure comes in, and all they have to do is go into the procedure section and take it and review it. So it has to be received and reviewed in order to give you credit. Now, let's say that somebody made a mistake, you can actually go in there, double click on it, and you can remove it. Let's say somebody put it in incorrectly. You can actually unreview this particular procedure. You can unreceive it. You can hit OK, and then you can actually delete it once you do that. Once it's deleted, you're going to see that in the CDSS, it's going to go back to being red so that it's due, and it's right there. Now, for how do you figure out which patients need this? So if you decide that you're going to start this year and this is your protocol, you can use this measuring year for your query, and you can ask through the registry which patients don't have an annual wellness, and it should give you a list of all the patients that are pending so that you can recall them. And then eventually this alert can become part of your normal workflow so that your providers are looking here and they can see, oh yeah, this patient doesn't have a wellness alert. Wellness done. I'm going to do it today.